Hello, folks, and welcome to Advent of Code. This is day number 5. I'm Liz the Gray, and I am working through these puzzles. I think we figured out on the last stream, this is the 4th year in a row that I will have been streaming these live, and the 7th year of me doing these, the same number of years as the puzzle contest has been running. I've been doing this for 7 years now, but not streaming the first couple of years. Streaming was a little bit less practical and mainstream back then. So let's see what we have in store for us. We've got about 6 minutes until the puzzle unlocks, and there is the standard set of setup stuff that I have to do before each day's puzzle. So we'll go ahead and start clearing through that together. Let's see. Twitch Inspector says there's a little bit of network instability, but it'll work its way out, I'm sure. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I spent most of mine lying down because today is unfortunately the day that I lose to my disability. So spent most of it lying down in bed. But, you know, that's life. I rested so I would be able to do this because this is something I think is super important for me to be able to spend my spoons on. Hi, VWoo. Are you doing CoderPad again this year? CoderPad is awesome. Go check out VWoo's site. Coderpad.com, I think. Coderpad.io. They're really awesome. I think they're really great. I'll drop a link in there. And yeah, Advent of Code is definitely a fun thing for me rather than a spoon draining thing, so I'm really glad to do it. Alright, so let's see whether there's been any new commits to the Go development tree over the past 24 hours. Oh, just more documentation stuff, that's fine. Cool. Twitch Inspector says that it was just one 30-minute unstable thing, right at the start, 30-second unstable thing at the start, that's fine. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and day 5 input. Let's go ahead and prepare this. And hey, Esrujan, good to see you again. And I'm glad that you learned something about breaking out of loops yesterday. It's always fun to learn from cool things that other people do that you don't necessarily do yourself yet. Cool. Let's see. All right. I think day 2 is a decent template, so let's just do that. 205, and we'll do the same thing we did last time as well. All right, so I'm pretty much ready to go now. Need a new Go tool chain and I should be ready to go because infuriatingly Go 118 is a big giant release because it has generics, it has a bunch of optimizations to the innards of the compiler, so it's understandable that there would be things that are still smoking out. I think 3 days after they're supposed to cut the beta. There still is plenty of time before January and they'll do a release candidate, so not super worried about that. Yeah, I don't know. How was people's weekends? One of the things that I spent yesterday at least doing was doing some continuous profiling, which is exciting. Having a look at having a look at some of the internals of Honeycomb and seeing where we spend CPU, and you would be surprised some of the things you find when you go looking under the couch cushions. As the head of the platform engineering team at Honeycomb just said to me, it's like you rifle around in your couch cushions and you just pull out a $20 bill and you're like, whoa, I didn't know that we had this. It's kind of neat, right? Like, it's nice to have some extra adaptive capacity in your system. So yeah, definitely Advent of Code has got me in the mind to think a little bit more about my algorithms, and actually I can show you that. Let me show you that pull request because that definitely shows you the benefit of a good algorithm. So I wrote this original code over here. This structure here, where I was mapping time, where I had a linked list or like an array, and that I was appending to sequentially, as well as a map that stored in 64 values, and I in fact had 2 of them. I wrote that code 2.5 years ago, and I didn't expect that it would still be here 2.5 years ago. And it turns out this was just chewing up 30% of 120 cores, which is not good. So we have fixed it to a pointer to that can be updated, where you can fetch these values, update these values, and not have to touch the map again. So yeah, fun times. Just finding random stuff that is just chewing and as much CPU as it can get and making it go away. Awesome. I'm glad that you're learning some Rust, Esrujan. All right. Thanks to all the people who are following. It really makes me happy to have folks who are here to help me along and cheer me along. And we can do this together. It's awesome. Okay. Yep. I have a Go compiler. Just check the version. Yep. Compile today. Makes sense. And today, I might even have to use generics. We'll see. We'll find out. I should probably edit in this browser, edit inputs in the other browser. That's kind of the way that I tend to do things. All right, 1 minute to go. There's a very important monetary case, Vizbin, as well as an environmental case, right? Like, I think it was Werner Vogel who said, like, couple of days ago at Amazon reInvent that, like, hey, the best CPU is a CPU you're not spending as far as reducing your environmental impact. Like, yes, you can, run on more efficient cores, but, like, at the end of the day, if you don't have to compute, don't. All right. All this stuff is ready to go. Port everything to encode. Very funny. I'm just waiting for the day that someone like actually makes an encode processor and actually makes an ASIC that processes a FPGA or ASIC that processes encode. That would be hilarious. It's funny how we all have memes. Ooh, I sense there's about to be like the bottom of the seafloor and we're about to go down through it because there is an obvious hole that's right there that's going to come up. All right, well, let's see what's in day 5 and dive in. Dive in literally and metaphorically. Hydrothermal vents, yes, my suspicion was correct. Okay, so there are some clouds in varying, line segments, okay. Consider only horizontal and vertical lines, yep. Or either x1 equals x2 or y1 equals y2. All right. The number of points where at least 2 lines overlap. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we'll do it this way. Okay, so the standard way I do this is just with a map. So let's go ahead and record the types. Type chord struct. I write one of these every year. All right, and clouds is make map of chord to int. All right, so now let's do this. Oh, I see. Yeah, the number is just the number of clouds that happen in each location. Perfect. Okay, cool. So the format is strings split s. And we're going to first split it by this sequence to get rid of that annoying thing. Okay, so now, raw x1, start raw is going to be string split part 0, comma. I know people have fancy parsing libraries because the parsing always looks the same from year to year in terms of, like, there are just only so many ways to encode things as ASCII, but not super worried about that. And draw is going to look like this. Okay, so now start x is going to be start conv a to I of start raw. And we have start y. Okay, and then we have end x and end y. Let's see, so what do we have here? We have, I just close this tab. Okay, yeah, so all of these that we've been given, oh no, some of them we've been given have x does not equal y. So in the event that x does not equal y, then we don't have to consider it. Okay. So if start and x start y. Oh, have they? That's fine. If start x and start y are exactly this, or start x and end x and start y and end y are the same, that doesn't matter too much. Okay. Skip through part A. All right. KV. Range clouds. Is going to be 0. If v is greater than or equal to 2, then plus plus. Right, and then we'll print out our count. Okay, so now start x and end x are going to be the same. Then are they sorted in any particular order? Let's have a look at one of these. 113 to 118, 738 to 136. No, so they cannot be guaranteed to be in the same order. Okay. If start y is less than end y, else okay. For y is equal to start y, y is less than or equal to end y, y plus plus, clouds at index toward start x, y, plus plus. Okay, that should do it. Otherwise, we need to iterate the other way around. So start from end, work our way up. Okay, that's still fine. And now we do practically the same thing, except for we permute our x's and y's. Just got to make sure that I don't accidentally mess this up. So this time, y is held the same. Okay, that looks good. So same thing here. Hi, Community. Good to see a coworker here. All right. Let's see. Oh, I missed a spot. That could potentially be embarrassing. All right. So that should do it. What did I do wrong? Line 31. Start raw. Oh, yes. Valid, valid, valid. Okay. And now line 37. Oh, that just needs colon equals rather than regular equals, and that should do it. And yes, I've repeated myself 4 times, but hopefully I only have to do this once. Okay, let's go ahead and plug this in. That's not the right answer. Okay, so let's run the example code instead. Top left pair of ones. These, yep, come from 2, 2 to 2, 1. 2, 2 to 2, 1. Yeah, okay, that's correct. Okay, so what did I do wrong here? Oh, I see what I did wrong. That was really silly. NX. And yeah, okay, I buggered that one up. There we go. Or is that correct? Start is greater. No, I had it correct the first time around. Okay. Now I feel... Yeah, okay, that looks correct now. Okay, that should be better. That's correct, rank 504, not bad. All right, let's continue to part 2. We need to continue diagonals. They'll be at exactly 45 degrees always. Okay, that's fine. Oh, this problem is really not that bad. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do clouds A, and we'll just do this. Okay, let's make sure that that still is correct. All right, so that seems fine. All right. So right now this should print the same number twice, except that that's wrong. Count A and count B. Okay. 73. Oh. Or count A, count B, int. Fine. There we go. Okay. All right, so we know it's always going to be 45 degrees. So this is really just going to be 4 cases. It's going to be this way, this way, this way, or that way. All right. So now we're going to need something like this, except for instead of holding y invariant, all right, so okay, anchor is, so y anchor is 1 if start x is less than end y, or start y is less than end y. So if it goes the other way around, then instead y anchor equals -1. All right. All right, so now after each position, we do y minus plus equals y anchor. Instead of start y, we just use y here. Oh, and we only do this once for clouds B. Yep, that's correct. Okay. All right, so now we need the inverse case down here. Okay, so here, starting from a higher x and working my way downwards. So if higher x working my way downwards, so I think this is honestly I'd be better off just trying each of these and seeing what happens. So let's just try it. I'd rather do that than... So we've got a simple here, which is just this list. So let's just slurp that in there. So the first one is 5, and this one should not be 10, it should be 12. Okay, so now that I know that, I suspect I've just gotten this reversed. So let's just try leaving this the way it was. Yep, that yields 12. Okay, great. So I think this is going to be correct. Yep, rank 404. Pretty good. That was nice and fast and sweet. Okay, now that I've done this, since I only took 10 minutes to do it, we may as well clean up this code a little bit, although, like, I'm not super sad about it, like, you know, yeah, okay, so let's, check in my working code first. Oops, it always does this when I leave a file open. I should really add .swap files to my get ignore. Day 5 solution. Yeah, this was much easier than day 4. All right, so we'll push this up to the cloud so you can have a look at it if you like. It will be at github.com/lizthegray/adventofcode, like so. And yeah, this is a case where doing it cleanly would mean solving the problem more slowly. So you know, at a certain point, you solve it really quickly and then you clean up afterwards. So, count multiples, and this is going to take a clouds map from chord to int, returns an int, and that is just going to be regular count, and then return count. So something like that, and then for here we just avoid the duplication by all right, so let's at least do it this way and make sure that we still get the same result. Yep, looks fine. Ooh, yep, those are geothermal vents indeed. Cool, we passed over the geothermal vents. Okay, so now let's see what else we can do to clean this up. I think the main other thing to do is to have a one walk function. Okay, so let's do it this way. X start Y and X and Y. Those are going to be ints, and this also needs to take a how should we do this? And let's have it take a clouds object. All right, so how shall we refactor this? Does streaming make me slower or faster? Streaming makes me String makes me more likely to catch mistakes because I'm talking through it as I go. It initially on the easier problems makes me slower, and on the harder problems it makes me faster. That's what I'll say. All right. So how did we do this? Oh, I see. It's the better way to... How do I want to handle this? I essentially want to be able to pass in... Right, like I'm scratching my head here. I'm being like, each part of this logic is subtly different from the other part of the logic. You know, actually, I think I am okay with just leaving this be. Like, got some parsing code, and then I've got some other stuff. It's fine. Like, okay, this is what I'm just gonna roll with, and I'll end the stream early or that way. Let's just look at what I have. Yep, that looks fine. All right, cool. Let's see who's going and raid them. Let's see. Yeah, I could use one set of code for all directions by basically incrementing x and y by 0 1 or like 1 1 0 1 1 0 etc. But maybe a thing for another time. Let's go ahead and say hi to Viwu. Why not? See you folks later. See you tomorrow.